Hi, I'm Avalon, but you can call me Ava. This is the third episode of the general block. Those who are following the course have already seen two previous episodes of this block and each of the other blocks: listening, reading, speaking, and writing. If you haven't seen it yet, just take a look at the playlist, and you will find all these episodes. At the end of the previous episode of the speaking block, we said that we were going to work on pronunciation in the general block, which is this one, so today's episode is about pronunciation. We are going to see some information about spoken English and some strategies to improve our pronunciation. If you already have the book, see pages 105 to 110 for detailed explanations about the content of this episode. Here we go.
What's up? Speaking English is not difficult, and it can even be fun. Everyone has their own accent, even among native speakers. We call it variety. There is British English, Australian, North American, Scottish, South African, and others. They don't always understand each other well, because of differences in the way they pronounce words in each variety. For non-native speakers, the accent depends on the mother tongue. You can often tell where people are from by the way they speak English, both native and non-native speakers. The important thing for us here is to speak clearly. To do this, we need to pay attention to some sounds and train ourselves to adjust our pronunciation. The first thing to keep in mind is that, in English, words usually don't sound exactly like they are written. Some letters sound different depending on how the word is spelled. Others have aspirated sounds, just a puff of air, not using vocal cords, and still others have no sound at all. The lesson here is, don't trust the spelling. There's even a linguistic joke about the relationship between spelling and pronunciation in English. It is true. Linguists also make jokes. So much so that there are a lot of funny things in linguistics. This one is like that. Have a look at this word. What word is this? Whoever said goatee was wrong. The word is fish. GH, as in the word laugh, sounds like O, as in the word women, sounds like
E.
TI, as in the word nation, has the sound of sh. It is clear that the GH does not have this sound when it appears at the beginning of words, only at the end. And TI only has the sound it has in nation when it appears in the middle of the word. And O probably only has an E sound, in the word women. This is just a joke to show how these letters can represent different sounds in English.
Now let's talk about some strategies for you to speak English better and better. There are a lot of pronunciation courses out there, and there are several ways to work on this thing. It is very common in these courses to teach all the sounds that appear in English. They take the phonemic chart and work each sound. Look at the table there. Anyone who wants to can do this. But there can be many sounds in the chart that are the same in your mother language. Like, for example, P, B, T, and many others, which won't cause any problems when you speak English. Another important thing is that most courses work with a specific variety of English and include some details that don't really count for much. Like the story about the R sound, you know? There are varieties of English that don't pronounce the R at the end of words. It's like this: if it ends in R, you don't say the R. British English does that. Want to see some examples? Here we go. Offer. Car. father. 4. In fact, as a rule, we English only pronounce the R if it has a vowel sound after it. Like rim, care, caramel. But most of the other varieties seem to pronounce all the R sounds. And there's an exception too, because iron has a vowel after the R and we don't say the R, it's ion. But it seems that everyone does it. It turns out that it doesn't matter if you speak the R or not, because most people understand it the same way. So you don't have to worry about training that silent British English R. What we do here in the meta course is to try to identify variations in the pronunciation that can interfere with clarity when we speak English and work just on those. The rest we let go. Anyone who wants to speak a specific variety or work on all the sounds of English needs to supplement with other materials. The thing here is to be strategic. The BBC has a good free online pronunciation course called The Sounds of English. Just click on the symbols in the phonemic chart to watch a quicker video about that sound. See the link in the descriptions of this video.
Hi there. These people talk quite a lot, right? But what is important today about pronunciation? Shall we take some notes for us to remember? So, there was that thing about the difference between the spoken word and the written word, right? The sound of English words do not always match the way they are written. Remember that Goaty joke, F for laugh, I for women and shoe for nation, yeah. This means that we really have to hear the words to know how they sound. I think it's important to remember that. Then we saw that the important thing is to speak clearly, that the accent doesn't matter because even native speakers have it too. There was a chart of the sounds of English that we can learn at the BBC or other courses. They said that here in the meta course we will only work on pronunciation cases that interfere with clarity when we speak, because the course is strategic.